All right, you guys, we're on page 461, and I really need you to follow along with me in the book because we're going to read through it together. Today we're doing solving problems, and all the information that's given, you have to sort through that information and find out exactly what they're asking and how you're going to find the answer to what they're asking. Okay, so let's begin. On page 461 under New Concept. Part of the problem-solving process is finding the information needed to solve a problem. Sometimes we need to find information in graphs, tables, pictures, or other places. In some cases, we are given more information than we need to solve a problem. In this lesson, we're going to be finding the information we need to solve a problem. Okay, so let's begin. Example 1. We're going to read the information and then answer the questions. The school elections were held on Friday, February 2nd. Tehana, Lily, and Tariq ran for president. Lily received 146 votes. Tehana received 117 votes, and Tariq received 35 more votes than Tehana. So what we have to do here is we need to find out, of course, how many votes Tariq got. I'm going to put an L for Lily, and she got 146. And I'm going to put a T-E for Tehana. And Tehana got 117. So the only person that's unknown is Tariq. So we're going to put a T-A. She got 35 more votes, right? So we can do a little 5 and a 3. Okay, 7 plus 5 is 12. 3 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. So 152, am I right? Okay, so if I'm right, then we can just kind of erase this middle number because that'll get us confused. So answering the questions on the next page is going to be very easy. How many votes did Tariq receive? Who received the most votes? Tariq. Now it says speeches were given on the Tuesday before the election. What was the date on which the speeches were given? So if you turn back, school elections were Friday, February 2nd. So I'm going to do a little F up here towards the end of the week, and we're going to, this is Feb. And here's the 2nd. Okay. Read that again. Speeches were given on the Tuesday before the elections. So we have to move backwards. There's Thursday, Wednesday, and here's Tuesday. Did you know that most elections are done on a Tuesday? They did it at the school too. So there is a February 1st, isn't there? How many days are there in January? There are 31. 30 days has September, all the rest have 31. I don't remember it. You guys can shout it at me. So the Tuesday is no longer February, but January 30th. Okay? All right, so much for example 1. Let's go on to example 2. Alyssa collects keychains from different states. She has visited and displays them on a pegboard. Since Alyssa lives in Nebraska and her grandmother lives in Ohio, she always keeps the Nebraska and Ohio keychains on the first 2 pegs. How many different ways can Alyssa arrange the keychains in one row? Well, she has 5, right? But 2 of them are always in the same place. So really, you're only looking at 3 different states. So what you need to do, and you guys remember what I told you about doing an organized list. So we're going to do T, M, and F, Texas, Maine, and Florida. I would use Texas first because there's two possibilities with Texas. There's Texas, Maine, and Florida. And then you just flip these two, keeping Texas first. Okay? Now, I always go back to my first one and I go, okay, I'm going to use this one first now, which is Maine. There's going to be two possibilities for Maine. Maine, Texas, Florida. Maine, Florida, Texas. Now, the cool thing about Florida being first, well, there's two possibilities, isn't it? Because Florida hasn't got to be first yet. So Florida, Texas, Maine, Florida, Maine, Texas. Have we used all of our possibilities? Now, the problem is you've got Nebraska and Ohio here. She didn't say Nebraska was always first. She says she always keeps Nebraska and Ohio on the first two pegs. So you have to actually double this because now you can flip it around and go Ohio, Nebraska. Do you want to keep doing this really long list though? So just remember once you get these taken care of, oh, I can flip these and have the same list over here. So it's basically 6 times 2. And the answer is 12 different ways. Okay? So you guys, do you see how sometimes your work gets to be kind of long? As you get through going through these years, your work is going to get longer and longer. And sometimes, like I told my 6th graders, don't be afraid of using almost a whole page. That doesn't mean write big. It just means these problems are getting longer. Don't be afraid of using the space to solve your math problems. Okay. Everybody have a paper, head it, and let's get ready to do lesson practice. Why don't you I was going to say turn it off if you have to run and get your papers. So I'm going to keep going. If you're not ready yet, turn me off. Okay. We're at the top of page 463, lesson practice. Okay. Let's think about the information before you answer A, B, C, and D. Just don't jump in yet. Let's do some thinking and maybe some organizing. So, Terrell did yard work on Saturday. He worked for 3 hours in the morning, 4 hours in the afternoon. He was paid $6 for every hour he worked. And this is a great one for a chart. So we would do hours. And then his pay. And how many hours did he work? He worked 3 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon, so a total of 7. 5, 6, 7. So we had 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. There's his morning. 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, and 7. And he was paid $6 for every hour he works. This is a great way, if you don't remember your 6s, to review them. So first hour he was paid $6. Second hour, 6 times 2, 12. Third hour, 6 times 3, 18. 6 times 4, Jeff Gordon. 6 times 5, 6 times 6 is 36. And 6 took 7 out on a date. They got a table for 2. You have all of your information here. So let's answer on paper. Letter A. How many hours did Terrell work in all? Oh, right down there. So A, you can write 7 hours. You can do the abbreviation if you like. B, how much money did Terrell earn in the morning? Well, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is look at the first 3 hours. How much did he make at the end of 3 hours? Very good. $18. C. How much money did Terrell earn in all? You already got the answer. $42. See how easy it was to have that chart right there in front of you. Never be afraid to draw a chart. In fact, I kind of like them. Okay. All right, everybody, D. How many different amounts of money could you make using any 2 of the 3 coins shown below? And we're going to use 2. Make it organized. You have a quarter, a dime, and a 50-cent piece. I'm going to start with the quarter and the dime, then the quarter and the 50-cent piece. Okay? So the quarter and the dime, 25 plus 10 cents is 35 cents. That's 1. Okay? The quarter and the 50-cent piece, 3/4 of a dollar, which is 75 cents. Now the only one that's left is the dime and the 50-cent piece. You've used all your possibilities except for that one. So a dime plus a 50-cent piece is 60 cents. How many different ways are there? There are 3. Okay. You guys, when you're doing your work, read every single one of the questions. This number alone is worth 4 points. If you were to only read the first part, you would have had 3 wrong. Because it said name the different ways. Or it said how many ways. That would have been only this answer. But you would have gotten 3 out of 4 wrong. So make sure you're answering your questions completely. All right, I hope it all goes well. Miss all of you, and we'll talk to you later.